Have you noticed we're spending more money to eat worse food than any other generation in history? And why? Because modern convenience has trained us to abandon all of the habits that actually keep a grocery budget on track. So today, I'm bringing back 7 old-fashioned habits that will put hundreds of dollars back into your pocket this year. But I warn you now, habit number 7 is perhaps a little bit controversial, maybe kind of hard to do, but it does create the most wealth if you can achieve it. So let's get on with it, shall we? Okay, so for my first habit, I have come to the realization that cooking has to be the default and dining out is the exception. Something, somewhere in the last 20 or 30 years has kind of flipped for most of us. Takeout has become the Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday night solution because everyone is too tired. I have pumped literally thousands of dollars into local restaurants and takeouts over the years. I dread to think what the actual number is. When I first moved out and I lived on my own, I was racking up credit card debt just so I could go and buy myself a burger and fries. And the truth that taught me was this: you cannot out-budget a takeout habit. A $50 meal at a restaurant is like barely $10 worth of ingredients at home. So when you outsource your cooking, you are paying 400, 500, 600% premium for someone else's labor. So if you want to get a grip of your bills and you want to save money on your groceries, like I've done over the years, stop treating Uber Eats like a utility bill. It's a luxury and you really need to be treating it like that. Now, have you noticed modern grocery aisles are full of solutions? Yeah, taco kits, stir-fry kits, spice rubs, seed mixes. It's all a money-making scam, folks. And I say that having worked in the grocery industry for like the better part of the last 25 years. Everything is a solution. And I know some people argue that this is progress and that it speaks to consumer demand. And I call that the fallacy that they want you to believe. Our grandparents didn't buy solutions. What they bought was ingredients. And let's be frank, they weren't sitting around all day twiddling their thumbs with time on their hand, wondering how to fill their days. And when you pay for that taco kit, you are paying for the cardboard, the box, and all that stuff that it comes in, and you're paying for the convenience of having someone measure out those spices into those little bags and sachets for you. I fell for all that myself. And the funny thing is now, I did that when I had no children. Now I know what it means to be kept busy. And yet, nowadays, we stock our pantry with rice and flour and spices and tin tomatoes, and we have the building blocks for dozens and dozens of meals. Ingredients have more or less infinite potential, whereas meal solutions are just this one-time use trap that costs you a huge amount of money. Definitely get on board with buying weekly essentials. There are 20 of them right here that you'll find will get you very, very long way down this track, and let them take care of your meals instead of having someone else do it for you. Now, I bet you've seen all those shorts where someone's sitting in their car, losing their mind over this new variety of ultra-processed goop. You know the ones I mean, right? Some who knows what kind of flavour combination. Well, that is absolute music to the ears of big food. You see, big food doesn't care about your health, doesn't care about your wealth. All big food cares about is you buying more and more and more of their crap. Simple as that. We are addicted to the idea of more, and we want more for our money, but the irony is that's exactly what a lot of us are not getting when you're paying for overpriced, nutrient-poor filler that basically just leaves you hungry an hour later. The old way, previous generations, was quality over quantity. You go and buy the better meat, but you use less of it. You buy the real butter, not the spread. And this was another one that I fell for all the time. I used to have so many snacks in the pantry, it was unreal. When I was a student, I went out, I bought all that rubbish, I gorged on it for 2 days, still felt hungry, but then I basically just had empty cupboards and no money left for any actual real food. The fact of it is, nutrient-dense food satisfies you for longer. That means you're actually going to eat less in the long run, and that in turn means you spend less too. So whatever you do, keep the overpriced fake food out of your cart and focus instead on the best quality that you can afford from around the perimeter of the store. So the average US household throws away $1,500 worth of food every single year. That is I don't know, like a weekend away just sitting in your trash. Older households, however, didn't do that. They treated food like inventory rather than inspiration. In other words, they built meals around what needed using, not what looked exciting in the store. So before we go to the store, we religiously shop that pantry, and that means that can of beans we've had there for a while sitting in the back of the cupboard, that sort of frozen mystery meat thing down there in the freezer, that is our dinner tonight. If you buy new food while you have perfectly good food sitting at home rotting, then, well, you're not shopping, you're just sort of hoarding waste. Use what you already have and your bills will definitely tumble. Number 5 is another really very simple one, folks. Your parents didn't put groceries on Afterpay. If your cash wasn't in the jar, then you didn't buy the steak. They went and bought, I don't know, a tin of tuna, some potatoes, something, but it wasn't the steak. And that is the simple truth that I know will help a lot of people to step back from the brink today. I know there's a lot of stress and pressure around just paying for basics. We all know buying on credit, though, has become the norm so that we can sort of maintain a lifestyle that oftentimes our income just doesn't support. And it's not just food, obviously. TVs, clothing, smartphone, tablets, you know, all this sort of stuff. But if you're putting groceries on a credit card and you can't pay that off in full this month, I'm afraid that is a mountain that is going to fall in on you very, very quickly. The day that I cut up my last credit card was the day that my life changed for the better. And I promise you, if you do the same, it might be tough to begin with. You might have to make some quite serious adjustments to your lifestyle and what you're spending, but you'll thank yourself that you did for years and years to come. Now, number 6 is the idea of valuing time over convenience. We are constantly being told we are time poor, so we go out and we pay for convenience. You know, look at pre-cut veggies, hundreds of times more expensive than just buying the whole thing in a bag. You are paying a premium of $2, $3, $4, $10 even to save yourself 90 seconds of chopping. I'm not talking about people who have difficulties with chopping here, but remember, the average adult in the US spends 2 hours a day on social media. Now, I'm not suggesting for one moment the 7 minutes or so you're spending right now watching this video isn't excellent value for your time, but you know, the rest of it is what I'm talking about. Anyway, I do hear the my time is too valuable argument quite a lot, and I just think, well, if you stopped making money so you can go make yourself dinner and you're not getting paid while you do that, maybe that argument holds water. Otherwise, as far as I'm concerned, you're fabricating this cost of your time purely because you don't fancy making dinner for yourself. And besides that, for me, there is no value that I could put on the time it takes me to prepare a really delicious, beautiful, nutritious meal for me and my family. So my advice here is get into this habit and you'll find this most profitable time you can spend all week is most likely the 20 minutes you spend on a Sunday afternoon doing a bit of food prep. Right then, I told you this last one was controversial. Well, here goes. We live in a world designed to make you dissatisfied. Okay, every ad, every click, pretty much the entire grocery store, all of it is engineered to make you feel you need a new treat in order to be happy. The ultimate wealth hack, however, is not a coupon. It's not something new in a store that you haven't bought before. It is being content with simple things like a simple meal. When you stop chasing the dopamine hit of new and exciting food every night, your bills drop instantly. Cooking Thai food doesn't make you a more rounded human being. Doesn't make you more interesting either. And I know for a fact, when I stopped kind of coveting what I saw other people eating on social media, I just became a much happier person. Again, nothing wrong with checking out recipe ideas from cooks and influencers and all that sort of stuff, but now I enjoy my own cooking a lot more. And the reality is, a simple meal cooked with love, eaten with your family, that used to be enough, and frankly, it still should be. So, there's 7 old school habits that'll put money back in your pocket no matter what age you are. You got any others that you'd recommend? Stick them in the comments because I'd love to see what they are. And if you want to know 5 specific meals that'll cut your meal prep using very simple, cheap ingredients, then you should go ahead and watch this video here on my cook once, eat twice dinner favourites. It will save you 5 hours a week minimum. So I'll see you there in just a mo. And don't forget to hit subscribe on your way over there if you like this kind of stuff. Cheers, see you in a minute.